The prayer of Yizkor begins with a plea for memory. Yizkor Elohim, may God remember the soul of, and then we name the person. And immediately we're struck with the question of why are we asking God to remember? Is God not omniscient? Is God not all-knowing? Could there be forgetfulness? Exactly what is it that we are saying in the very opening words of Yizkor? And then it continues, and it starts to include the idea of charity, which seems so this-worldly, so mundane. Suddenly it brings us down from the transcendent moment of God and infinite memory and departed souls, and now we're talking about charity. I remember as a child, the children are asked to leave the sanctuary for Yizkor. In this shul, in this sanctuary, I would go out, we would play out in the hallway, and no one ever told us, Yizkor's over, you should come back in now. So we just continued to play out in the hallway, and it seemed to me that Yizkor lasted so long. It just seemed to go on and on and on. I knew that it was mysterious. I didn't know what was being said, but I knew that it was deep and it was heartfelt and it was mysterious and that children should not be there. As I grew up a bit, I began to understand what was going on, and I viewed it as a club I never wanted to belong to. I never wanted to have to say Yizkor. I liked being in the hall. I liked being away from it. I liked being safe. None of us want to belong to it. All of us will. The first time I had to say Yizkor, I was shocked at how short it is. I was ready for the lengthy of what I remembered being in the hallway for, and suddenly I'm standing there and I'm looking at one paragraph per memory of a person. And I was struck at how short it is. And then over the years, I've come to understand that it's short because, like other prayers where we are able to step into the prayer and say it from inside, Yizkor is different. Yizkor is a prayer that is a doorway, and we are to step through it. And once we are through it, it's an entrance to glimpsing something that is so large that we can't put it into words. And so we have one paragraph. It speaks of memory, it speaks of charity, it speaks of continuity, it speaks of transformation, and then again, it speaks of memory. First, the mention of charity, which comes so early in the paragraph. Yizkor includes that I am pledging charity in order to elevate the soul of the person who has died. Judaism believes that the spiritual journey we are all on is infinite, and therefore souls never depart. They change their expressions. In Judaism, we say that someone is niftar when we say that they have passed away. Niftar doesn't mean passed away, it means they are exempt. And what we are saying is now we have exempted them from commandments. We've exempted them from those things, those actions that were done in this world that our bodies did, as our bodies fulfilled and expressed those commandments. These souls are now exempt. But their exemptions do not mean that their expressions are gone. They have moved to the ones who remember them. We become their expressions, and we become their actions. By pledging charity, we continue to express their impact into the world. Because of them, we engage in acts of human kindness. Because of them, the world will continue to improve, and because of them, I will push myself farther and expand my view. That's my pledge near the start of Yizkor. That pledge of charity is my pledge to continue one thing they felt strongly about in this world. There is continuity now in the world as a tiny bit of what they felt was important continues to express. And the world will now improve by that tiny bit, and so their impact continues, and we have continuity. Yizkor also includes transformation. We say that their souls will be woven into the weavings of life. Tzrura b'tzror hachayim. It's not always translated literally. Often it'll be translated as a poetic, because it is a poetic in the Hebrew. And so the English may say something like woven into the bonds of life, continue into the expressions of life. But quite literally, the Hebrew says it's a weaving. They are woven into the weavings of life. They lived here by expressing their souls, and that never ends. And that's the infinite part of each of them. It is for us the expression of our relationship with them. We redefine it once we understand that it is transformed, not ended. It can't possibly end because our text has told us that they're woven into us. And the text has told us in many places that souls weave with souls, that the bonds we make with others that are felt in our souls are unbreakable. When we say that they are woven into the weavings of life, we are not being poetic, we are being literal. Everywhere I look, I see them. They're already woven into the things I do. They're already woven into the values I define. The tapestry of my life already includes them and will continue to include them. I can't change that. All I do in Yizkor is I recognize it, I affirm it, I say it's already happened, and I notice the transformation of it. The moment I understand that, my relationship with them continues. And then, of course, there's memory. Yizkor asks God to remember them by name, and the question of, is God not omniscient? Does God not already remember everyone? Does God need me to stand here and say, please remember that person? But what's different is, the way I'm saying it in Yizkor is that I'm asking God to focus on that name of that person. Because when they were here, they expressed as I express. They had a name. The name continued to define who they were, continued to speak to the person that they were, and spoke of them their entire lives. That's how I knew them. That's how everyone on earth knows them. I am not asking God to remember because I'm afraid God will forget. I'm asking God to look at that perspective, that span of that soul when they were here on earth with that name. I am saying to God there was a human identity with that soul, a physical presence, an impact in this world. And in so doing, I am now crediting them for everything they brought to the world when they bore that name. And we ask God to continue to be involved in this transforming relationship. We ask God for perspective while the building of a memory lies with us. We are the ones who say, Yehi Zichram Baruch. May their memories be for a blessing, and that is up to us to create that. We are the ones who, through this transformed relationship, will continue with the name they bore to build their legacy of a memory. We are charged with that in Judaism, and we express it in Yizkor. The layers of a life lived are endless, and one of those layers is the memory. We build that for these people, and we continue to hear of them, and we continue to speak of them, and we continue that others will know of them, and others will learn who they were when they bore that name. It hasn't ended. It's transformed. This is the part of building that memory that we express to God. That part of that memory was their presence on earth. It is never to be erased. The impact is unique for everyone we say Yizkor for. For a parent, they're the reason we're here. For a sibling, they're the reason we developed laterally. For a partner, they're the reason we grew beyond. And for a child, they're the reason we understood completeness. We say Yizkor for martyrs of Judaism, for victims, for soldiers who fought and died, for friends who shaped us and are now gone. No matter who it is, it always ends too soon. We are always torn, and we will always arrive here. Yizkor is the time we allow ourselves to feel it. No finding joy in this moment. Yizkor is the window to feel the loss, to feel the yearning. Yizkor is when we know so many others are in this moment with us, each unique, and yet each of us bonded together. The Jerusalem Talmud talks about that when we lose people, there's a debate about whether we should put up memorial stones. Should we put markers? And many of the rabbis say we don't need markers because the lives that each person lives, the impact they've left in the world, is their memorial stone. When we speak of them, we create the marker, we create the memorial, and the more we speak of them, the larger it becomes, the more permanent it becomes, the more it becomes a stone. So why have markers? Why have tombstones? Mystical Judaism speaks of the angels in the cemeteries at night. Cemeteries at night after dark are very full places. The angels are moving around from one to the other to the other. And as they see the names on the tombstones, they whisper those names. And it is their statement of saying that no name will ever be forgotten, that names will be said again and again, and that the angels cover that and say, we will whisper those names at night, so those names are always in this world. When we visit a grave, we place a stone. It is Jewish tradition that we pick up a stone and place it on the grave, on the tombstone. We view it as a marker that lasts so long and so strong. The sources tell us that we do it so that the soul of that person will know they are being honored. The stone will not wear away. The stones will grow. The souls are infinite, and the soul will know that they continue to be honored. Like a stone, their memory will endure. I think it's also to tell the angels, we've placed a stone so they see it. And we've said to them, this person need not have their name whispered. This person is not forgotten. Their name is spoken. I speak it. Yizkor is when we say out loud, this person can never be forgotten.